Okay, remember when I did a light review a few months back now? Well, I've decided I'm going to be doing some catch-up reviews of a sort. Sort of rewind, a sort of look back, a sort of retroactive review, a sort of set and look. I'm going to call it Deja Vu. Catchy, I don't think. What you might be wondering though is, why am I standing bathed in backlight at this point in time? Well, this is actually the darkest room I have. This is actually a cupboard which happens to have an overhead light. See, if I do that, you won't be able to see a damn thing because the light is just in the way. So I have to do this to block that light out, and then I'm going to turn it off. And now you can't see anything, which gives me a perfect opportunity to test some of these again. Now, in the viewfinder, this kind of looks like the entire inspection lamp is lit up at certain angles. It's not, it's actually the top light here. And you can see that's doing quite a good job of, oops, let's just knock the camera. It's doing quite a good job of lighting everything up. I'm just closing the door ever so slightly. It's the most I can close this particular door, because at this point, obviously I've got the tripod in the way. But it just blocks out any extra light that's coming that way. But, as you can see, you know, there's the light bulb that was causing so much trouble before. There's a few random items in the background there, including, of all things, a bottle of lemon juice. Don't know why I've got that there, but it does provide some nice little lighting type tests, I suppose. There's my UV painted mask, which obviously isn't going to do anything impressive with this particular light, because, yeah. But if I do that, yeah, that actually looks fairly impressive. I might not actually impress myself that way so much, but let's just see. What else have we got here? We have, I don't think I did actually review this one, but this is just a standard LED bulb. Ooh, that is causing quite a bit of lens flare. J.J. Abrams, eat your heart out. But yeah, this is just a standard UV lamp. I think this actually gives... UV lamp? What am I talking about? The UV lamp is actually on the back of my mind because I haven't actually set that up yet, and I'll need to obviously do a jump cut to get back to it. But this is simply a standard LED type bulb. Well, bulbs to be more accurate. Whereas this one just has one. Okay, and it does a fairly good job in its own right. This one has several. You can see the difference straight away. That is causing all kinds of additional light to go off. It's really flooding the place. It looks a lot more impressive on the screen here than it does in real life, but you know, beggars can't be choosers, I suppose. Then we have this one, which is meant to be a little lamp that you hang up like so, and you can do this, you know. And this is, of all the lamps, I think it's arguably my favourite because of its versatility. I mean, as a lamp, that has given off quite a lot of light. As a torch, it's also doing quite a reasonable job. Perhaps not as powerful as this in the same regard, because you can see the difference straight away. Pointing out the same direction. Yeah, it's doing, you know, it's concentrating the light in a lot more focused area, but it doesn't fill up the place quite as well. And there's also the whole option to twist it around a bit and have different concentrations of light, if you can get it to work, that is, which it doesn't always, but c'est la vie, it's just a little funky function. That's it all nice and secure, so it can't actually come loose. That actually ends up looking like I've got some sort of mystical powers that way, doesn't it? I'm going to do some damage to you, you know, with some sort of fireball type effect or something. And obviously there's the lamp. And of course, if you turn it off and on again, you get the same kind of effect. I'm getting all kinds of lines up and down the screen at the moment. That's interesting. I haven't seen that since, the days of CRTVs. And if I do it one more time, then we get the disco effect. Obviously, if you are in any way suffering from epilepsy, sorry, I'll just turn that off. Then there's this one, the dynamo-powered lamp, which is actually hanging up slightly to one side, but here we go, I'll just lift it up like so. But, you know, I think that does a reasonable job in its own right. You know, the more you turn on the different settings, the more, you know, the more light you can actually get. I'll just move it over here so you can see my wonderful, beautiful, smiling face. smiling, a bit clearer. But yeah, I mean, you would kind of assume because of the sheer size of it and its design that, you know, the reflective surface at the top would sort of bounce the light around a bit more, but it just doesn't, even with all the LEDs on. It just doesn't quite do that. If you get the cranker up and sort of cranking more power into it, then it does obviously charge up as you do so, and it does generate more light. It's just a shame that you can't get that same brightness all the time. But as far as actually hanging it up somewhere is concerned, as long as you get the right spot, it does quite a good job of beaming light all over the place. Yeah, you know, it does exactly what it says on the tin. It's a lamp, it's not a torch or flashlight, as the Americans like to say. I have experimented with putting reflective surfaces on one side to sort of concentrate the light back through, say, one section. It doesn't work, not the way I thought it would. Anyhow, I am now going to have to do a bit of a jump cut. I'll just turn on this great big bright light again, and you can see the difference instantly there. See, all the backlight, you can see all the detail, the fact that there's a door here and whatnot, and the door frame and so on, but you can't see anything back there because it's all too bright. In fact, this could look quite heavenly, couldn't it? No, it couldn't. No, there's no way that's just a somewhat yellowish, yellowed out LED, well, not even LED, I'm talking rubbish there. It is, however, a somewhat yellowed out energy saver light bulb. I think it's actually quite an old one as well, possibly one of the first generation that first came out. Possibly, but possibly not. Anyhow, I'm just going to go and get the actual UV light thing set up. Okay, now before I go any further, I'm just going to show you one of the containers for this particular LED type thing. Now, autofocus is probably going to be even more of a nightmare than normal. So with the autofocus off, I can sort of roughly get myself out of focus and this more sort of into focus. That's better. Okay, so this is one of the two containers that you put the batteries in for this particular LED UV light. And as you can see, there's a bit of corrosion there. I've managed to get the worst of it off, and what's basically happened is the batteries managed at some point to corrode ever so slightly. It hasn't ruined anything, it hasn't damaged anything, but I am just a bit annoyed at that. I'm not sure if it's the fault of the Energizer bulbs that I've been using. Energizer bulbs? Energizer batteries that I've been using, or if it's down to something else altogether. But as I'm putting these batteries in, I am actually getting a bit of the corrosion dust coming off onto my fingers, which means I probably need to clean the ports again. I'm just going to call it the ports for simplicity. And I'm obviously going to have to clean my fingers as well, because that's probably just a little acidic. If I allow it to stay in place, it's probably going to end up doing me no end of harm. Ever so slightly, anyhow. Now, which way do you put these? Is it this way? Nope. Because the corrosion could have actually affected things more than I thought it did. In which case, this would be a rather expensive. Okay, so a little problem I'm having so far. Unfortunately, although this was working when I took the batteries out, and I've left them out for quite a while now, it doesn't seem to be working now. This could hopefully just be because the batteries are a bit knackered and need replacing, so I'm going to go and put some all fresh ones in. So I'm going to do a nice long jump cut. Okay, so back again in my not so darkened room right now. Now, I have actually got another UV torch. I'm just going to give this a quick test, because you can see right here that this one does work. Now this is using exactly the same batteries that have been included in the other UV lamp. So I have a suspicion at this point that this particular UV light is obviously working just fine. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing. But I suspect that the other one might be broken. And the lesson learned there is to make sure that whatever equipment you have that uses batteries, that you take the batteries out when the batteries are no longer needed. Otherwise there may very well be damage done that you are completely unaware of. I just wish this thing would cast more UV light out all over the place. It does have an interesting look, it's just that you've got to be really up close to really get the benefit of it. And the autofocus obviously doesn't want to know either. That's probably because it's so dark in here. Let's resolve that by blinding everyone. Right, another jump cut, and then we'll go and see if I've been able to get the other one to work properly. Okay, so I'm back again, obviously showing off my armpit a little, just off to the side here, and I have this UV bulb light thing that works so much better than the other one when it wants to work. Because what I found out is that this one is being a bit temperamental. You can see that all the lovely pink glow there in the middle of the screen, which in that case is the corner, okay, the top left hand corner in this case, or from my point of view, the top left hand corner of this room. And you can see, if I can just remember how to manipulate things in reverse. I can't, so I'll just try reversing things around this way, or I can't English. Yeah, I'll just let the light do the talking for me. We've got the pink look there, we've got all the beautiful pink glow there, we've got all the blue all over the rest of the place with a sort of purple hint to it. You know, and it does work quite nicely. I'll just shine it on my own face here just to make me look bizarre. You know, you've heard of the Blue Man Group, well I'm auditioning for the Purple Man Group. Actually no, that sounds potentially slightly wrong. But never mind, this does work. It's just that I've got to remember, first of all, not to look at the LED bulb, which I have just done again. Ooh, patterns. And, you know, a dorm room like this, it does work quite nicely. What does it look like if I do that from behind? Yeah, it seems to work okay. Does it have any effect on the camera angle if I do that? It just sort of gives a funky little angular look here. I could probably get the same effect if I had some filters on a regular light bulb and just sort of angled everything ever so slightly, but never mind, never mind. I think this goes to show there are lots of different possibilities with anything that you can think of. If only I could actually get my words out right. But yeah, as far as re-reviewing, the problem with this particular model, or this particular item rather, was that at some point some of the batteries had leaked ever so slightly in the main tube. In fact, I'll turn this off and I'll turn my inspection light on, because that'll probably be easier to allow everything to work. No, it's not a lightsaber, it's just a UV bulb being illuminated by this. In the main tube, which is this bit here, there is actually some residual acid damage. I've managed to clean the worst of it off, but yeah, it looks like it's going to be a permanent feature until I can actually get rid of it. So, lesson learned, which I think I've already mentioned before, but make sure you take batteries out of things that you're not using for long periods of time. When it comes to this particular wonderful device, there's something just about here, there we go, where you need a Phillips screwdriver to unscrew everything to get to the batteries in here. I've never actually opened this, so I've got no idea what kind of batteries it takes. Maybe the instructions will say anything. No, it just gives you instructions about the price and whatnot, and it's a 27 LED slim light torch. On this one, you unscrew the batteries there, and you get one of these little cradle type things which contains AAA batteries. 3 AAAs. That's probably a bit better if I do that. So yeah, I'll just and this beauty has no batteries whatsoever. Well, it will have a battery of some sort in there, it's just like you charge it up via the dynamo feature. So, all in all I can really say is these things work quite nicely when they want to. Good night, children. Whatever you are.